I'll get started. It's 1:05. Um, Welcome everyone to playtesting, our second to last design workshop of the quarter. Yeah, let's move on to what the goals of playtesting are. That would be player input data, documentation of remarks, feedback, and emotional responses. Then it moves into just overall feedback. You're going to need this in the future, and we're going to move on to why do you need feedback? Feedback, never heard of it. Why do you need it? We need it to reiterate and refine our games. Games are made for players, and you need that player feedback. So you have to listen to your audience in order to get that feedback. And by listening to your audience, you'll be making changes based on that feedback. Companies, moving on to the next one. Companies also rely on beta testers. And beta testers are obviously just players that play test and give you their full feedback. Here's an example: is Full Circle is currently developing skateboard, still developing. Last year they were still doing that. And its beta testing sandbox has been open since 2023 on July 10th. So last year. I used this exact same example last year, but I'm not gonna lie, like there's those.
Yeah, we had this picture last year.
Yeah.
Does the beta test look does it look better now?
It looks different.
It does?
It looks a little different, but it's the same thing. Like they're still on beta. And I don't know when skateboard is coming out. But see, this is a good example. They're listening 100% to the playtesters for a year.
Okay, so now on to giving feedback and like how do we give proper feedback when we're like playtesting someone else's game, or I guess, yeah. So make sure you give constructive criticism. And it is important that you provide details of your experience, not just in like general, but you ask questions and I guess basically clarify things that you don't understand about the game, because then they know like what you're confused about. So the examples are, I got lost at this part of the level. Maybe there can be a way of making directions more clear here, and this specific mechanic feels like it's missing something, but it reminds me of other games mechanics. Maybe you should take a look and compare. So these questions kind of show that you're engaging with the game, and then also provide a feedback on specific parts of the game that like help the developers, I guess, improve the game. So, part that's not part of constructive criticism is being rude. Don't be rude. Don't say like this level sucks or it should be more like X game. It's bad otherwise. That's not very helpful. Well, besides the fact that you don't like it, which is like an opinion at best, I guess.
It's not Sonic Racers, therefore it's a bad game.
It's not Sonic Racers. There's no game will ever be like Sonic Racers more than Sonic Racers.
It's true.
So yeah, so don't ever be rude. And talking is a skill, basically. And when giving constructive criticism, it basically helps to, I guess, not make notes about the game and just like critique it as it is. You also want to compliment the points you liked, so the developers know like what parts it's to keep and what they've been doing like good on so far. And so it is a skill to like give good feedback. Now on to
receiving feedback. So what do we do after a playtest with all the data that you've accumulated? What is the response to certain criticisms and how people respond? Moving on. This is how it feels to receive feedback, aka how to cheat 5 down. Yeah. You set a focus. It's a playtest. It helps to be like, it helps to, what, did we just spell that wrong? Yeah, it helps to be testing for something specific. Um, movement, stats, ability, balancing, um, specific mechanics that you want to look into that you have that you are based on. Yeah.
Are you supposed to like tell the playtester like what you're looking for, or should they just assume?
You should never let them know what
Okay.
you're looking for. Just because, like, unless you make a form, like, after they play test it and then you make them, like, answer questions, even then, you don't want to, like, backseat them when they're playtesting your game. Because you kind of want to, actually, I'm going to go into depth with this, but basically, hey, you just want to look into these, maybe. Like, if your game is, like, narrative based, maybe you want to look into the like how they react emotionally to certain parts of the game, tone specifically, tone and more. But yeah, we're gonna go into that specific part because that is the next slide actually. um, ask questions. Question and reflect on your goals before asking questions. Because question and reflect on your yeah, because you want to make questions. Sorry, I like had to like a stroke there. You want to question. You want to make good questions to ask your players, right? You don't want to go nilly, like you want to do something not general. Like imagine if you asked a player, "What's the game? Like what? How was it? Like that's it? Like what do you mean? Like what do you mean? How was it? Like you need to ask questions about what do you think about this mechanic, and then also you might want to go into more depth with it. You have to be specific, make it easy for the player, and then ask them to elaborate even more if they're very brief with their answers. Because that's not very helpful.
Yeah, I guess like the better you know the goals you have for a playtest is the more like you'll get out of the playtest because then you can ask questions about like what you like want to know because otherwise it's just like whatever the player's experience things comes to you. Well, by asking questions you can kind of like think I guess like afterwards asking questions you get that specific experience from the player. Uh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And then here are some tips. Pro tips. Leave space for your tester to say anything else they thought was notable outside your questions. Don't argue with the feedback. And the player's experience, if the player's experience is correct, regardless of your intentions, it doesn't matter what they are feeling, what you intended the feeling to be, whatever they felt, that's the correct answer because well, it's just subjective, you know? If a piece of feedback is not useful, you can filter it out later or you can elaborate even more. So yeah. Moving on.
So now on to like conducting playtesting itself. How do you actually set up the playtest, I guess? So when the players, when you're like playtesters playing your game, don't influence the player there. It's ideal that like you just give the player your game. Maybe like if it doesn't have a tutorial, maybe you can give them controls, but beyond that, like, don't really influence it. It's basically you want them to experience it as if they are playing the game like a regular player would when you release the game. And then never give unrequested advice or hints, even if they are doing everything incorrectly. Because part of like their struggle is you kind of like on you for and then by seeing like where they struggle and how they struggle, you can improve your game to like make sure players don't struggle there anymore. Um, yeah, this makes the feedback like more honest and the experience is more important than if you had just like directed them and they know everything about the game already.
You just have to remember that you won't be there. And like if like another setting, if you were to sell the game and someone got the game for the first time, you won't be there to like backseat behind them. So you need to keep that in mind. Yeah.
Another important thing is note taking. You don't have perfect memory. Well, maybe some people do, but like I'm sure most of us don't have perfect memory. So whenever you like, it's important to note take while watching your playtester. Or things you should be monitoring is like emotional responses, is their thought process, problem solving, decision making, if like they say that out loud, uh, any comments made out loud. Uh, yeah, basically like take what they say and like what they do, who, and write it down so you like can refer back to it later because you can't like perfectly remember all that. And then pay attention to anything that like you want to like take special care of that relates to like the question thing earlier, where like you set your goals for the playtest and then taking more notes on that. If possible, recording playtesting is really useful. Well, you can catch bugs, you can like find something you missed while actually doing the playtest. It's because it can, depending on the environment you're in, and it's like not entire, it could be like a little stressful to playtest. And so you can miss things. And then maybe, yeah, find clips relevant to your goal and getting a better idea of how to improve those systems. And so it's like you show the programmers and designers, or I guess it should be us designers.
Yeah.
There's, hey, this is a clip of player falling out of bounds. Wait, that's not us. Next clip. This is a player not understanding how to jump. Okay, that's
Not the
us.
playtesters.
Yeah. So it's very valuable if you can record playtesting. It's not always like something you can do, but if possible, it's very useful. And then finally, there's the post playtest interview. Who basically, this is where you would talk to the player and their experience with your game, and then you ask the questions that you hopefully have made like in accordance to your goal beforehand. And so yeah, you ask the questions, targeting your goals. Uh, try not to lead the player into like any opinion because the whole point of playtesting is that you want their honest opinion. Uh, ideally, questions are concise. Is neutral and require thoughtful responses. Uh, I guess yeah, that says it for itself. Like if you keep your questions short, so it's not like they're confused over the question itself, and they can just kind of give their thoughts instead. So an example is, how many times did you use the fire spell? Did it feel rewarding to use? Why or why not? It's like a concise question about something specific you want to ask about. Um, yeah, that's it. You need me to add?
No.
So,
Yeah. Let's move on to what it's like being a playtester on the other side. We were to talk about how it is to be the person who takes notes and backseats behind the playtester. Hopefully you don't backseat, but being a playtester, what is it like and how do you do it correctly or in a way that is helpful? So it depends on how you think and feel out loud because you have to explain what you're trying to do as you play. And if you get stuck, you need to like explain what you're thinking, your thought process. And then if you find a solution, like also audio that, you can sometimes ask for clarification on rules and maybe mechanics, but I would like only do it if you are testing a really early build. Especially one with like without a proper tutorial or you don't see the controls listed anywhere or something like that. Yeah, but you like overall you want to be expressive. Developers kind of want to know what you're thinking. And you want to comment on your opinions of the game at the current state. But of course you have to be mindful and remember the past, like be positive, be comment your opinion, but if you're gonna give a critique, you might want to like think about the good parts of the game and the bad parts. You might want to mention both parts. But yeah, and you might also want to take mental notes of thoughts for later, especially if you're going to give you a form later. So yeah. Being said,
How long?
there's
Sorry.
yeah.
How long would you like a playtester play the game? Like, would it like say if you wanted like 1 hour of like playtesting, would that be too much or too little?
I think it's too much, but it depends on the setting that you're in. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've had friends play test before, and when I get friends to play tests, like in a private environment where I can get them play testing for hours, right?
Yeah.
But if it's like one of those GDA play tests that we have sometimes, where we just like invite people and stuff, but it's like a line of people, or sometimes it's like, you have to just go around, go at any game that you can, and there's lines of people. You might only want to play tests for however long the demos that they make is, or only like 15 minutes, I'd say.
Mhm.
15 minutes is like a good number. 20 minutes, you're kind of pushing it, and people are behind you in line.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I do agree with the setting part.
Yeah.
I guess um you can like set a time limit, but like I guess just think about it I guess beforehand. How long you kind of want to spend, or if like if you're with your friends and just fine with like going forever, or because like we've had times where it's like people get really into the game, so they just want to like keep playing the game. And sometimes that happens during times when we can't let them play the game forever.
Yeah.
Sometimes it has, like I think you've had it where it's like they just play the game.
Yeah.
And they win or whatever.
For too long, and it's like, just find me outside, buddy. Like we can play, but after class because we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's post playtest feedback. So avoid suggesting / requesting your own features and ideas because again, this is not your game, but also you just have to like, if you want to, I would recommend referencing other game features if it's a very similar in play style. Obviously, don't say it's not like Sonic Riders, so obviously it's Sonic Racers, so it's obviously just bad. You should definitely just make it Sonic Racers Part 2. But you have to take a second to formulate your thoughts, and you have to be specific on what you're critiquing. Oh, okay. Okay. You have to remember to talk about both the good and the bad. Again, you don't want to be too critiquey and not point out any of the good stuff that they did do right or that you think was impressive. Helps to know, and it's like positive reinforcement to rough patch and rough the bugs up and patch them up. So yeah, let's move on to.
So we're gonna do a mini playtest of a game that you might have all heard of. It's called Malisense, and I will send this link in uh, the appropriate channels. Copy link. I will send it in the new. It is just the GDA-ish. And I'll. Oh, can you send it on Discord? I don't think I can send it on Discord.
You can send it on Zoom, and I'll send it on.
Yeah, send it on Discord.
Yeah.
Um,
Just put that on Zoom. Yeah, I'll send it.
so
I'm gonna put it
this is the
in.
analysis page. Obviously, the game is complete, so like there isn't really any playtesting to be done, I guess. But do we show the form before or after we do the actual playtest?
I think before.
Before, okay.
Yeah.
So when we like made Malisense, we made these playtesting forms to make it easier to like receive feedback. And because we can't just like interview every single person that like plays the game. And so
Yep.
this was the SlugCon Malisense playtest feedback form that we asked people to fill out. Leave us like a QR code next to the build. First we start with obviously stick once your opinions. So
Stick.
and then we start going to like more specific questions like how hard did you find the West puzzle? And then we put a picture of it because how do you know which way is west and east, I guess, or like what this the West puzzle is. And then basically you go through these questions, those puzzle questions. And another question, did you Did you always know what you needed to do next on the first dungeon floor? Or how often did you get lost on the first dungeon floor? Or there's a lot of pages here. Why is it?
I don't know, man. It's LugCon, so like,
Yes.
you know,
Basically, like in a real, I guess if you're face to face talking with people, can't really. It's easier to understand. Like you don't have to ask them 1 to 5,
yeah.
but like in these settings, we don't want them to write like a. I guess we wouldn't want them, and they wouldn't want to write like a whole bunch of short answer prompts. So
Yeah.
it makes it easier by doing these like 1 to 5 things.
It helps them if they're not general questions, because then they would be like, imagine if you just said, are there any complaints about the game? They would like, and they're like, I'm not writing all that. I'm not writing all that, and I'm not gonna go into my brain to figure out what's wrong with the game. So you have to just give them these type of like 1 out of 5 questions, a lot of the time. And I think we did 7 pages of this just because there was a lot of enemy stuff that we were working on.
So like the first section was about like the layout of the dungeon. Now this is about monsters. So like, did you how difficult was the monster evasion? Did you understand how the monsters were protecting you? Because Malefaced as monster based on senses. This was pretty important. And then evading monsters, we didn't want to make it like too difficult for people to like win, I guess.
Mhm.
Like, why am I on page 3? That doesn't make sense.
Does page 2 get skipped?
I don't know.
Let's not think about it.
Let's not think about it.
Let's not think about
So,
it.
and then we also had like items and artifacts. So we wanted to know, did the player know what the items and artifacts did? Did you find any of these confusing? Please tell us. We need the help. So, and then, so basically this page is like asking specifically about the items and like, because we wanted to make sure the items felt good.
Question.
Yeah.
Isn't this too many questions? Because like if they do like a play test, right? And then you just straight up just give them do this form, right? There's like 7 pages of questions. Isn't that like too much? Too many questions.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This part right here,
it might
like
be-
last gameplay thoughts, I think it was unnecessary, but we had to add it anyways. I think it was because mainly if you want to do that, I would recommend doing the 1 to 5 method, where it's just like just give them optionals. Like, that's better because it's like unless you want to go so into like asking what was your favorite moment from playing Malices today? That's very broad, very general. Any clever ways you evaded monsters? I won't answer that as a player very commonly. Was there because okay, these were 15 minutes. These were at SlugCon, and there was like a line of people, and people wouldn't stay for that long because they were gonna go do other stuff. Because it's SlugCon. You're gonna go to Artist Valley, you're gonna go do other stuff, you know. You're not gonna stay put and stay on the game for more than 10 minutes, actually. So a lot of people just left. So the reason we left a bunch of questions is because we have nothing to go off of if you're just gonna sit there for 10 minutes. And so we put the QR code and then we just gave them a link for now. That's why we gave them these. But I'm pretty sure we probably didn't get as much feedback as we wanted unless the people were really engaged with the game.
Yeah. I guess there is the problem of like, we kind of want all of this information. We want information about the dungeon layout. We want information about the monsters. We want information about the items. But it's also like,
it's a big game.
Yeah. How do we want all of that information, but also we can't just infinitely like ask people for that information.
Yeah.
And so I guess I feel like our focus here was like we kind of wanted that information.
Yeah.
So we just kind of put the questions in there here and try to make it like as concise as possible.
whatever we got, like we used it, right? That's why we put all the questions out.
I guess that's why like playtesting often is, I guess, a good thing to do if you can do it. Because then you can just like focus on, oh, how does the dungeon layout feel in this playtest, and how does monsters feel in this playtest? Yes, and then like kind of space that feedback apart, and then if you get like stray feedback regarding other stuff, like that's good too.
Mhm.
But like we don't with I guess how GDA does the playtest
Yeah,
don't really exactly have that luxury.
yeah.
So
I
kind of
assure
just
you,
wanted to do our
I,
best to get the
yeah.
feedback.
I assure you that the best playtests that we probably had from Malisense were based on like friends type playtests, like where you just sit down and it's like a private type playtest where we just got other people that we know to play the game. Even because it's like Malisense was like a big production, like a lot of people. Like it's just like we kind of just got people inside of the game, inside of like the developers team that were playtesting the game that hadn't seen it, you know? So
Also, just to kind of like this isn't 7 pages of design only playtest. This page right here is aesthetics.
yep.
This is for art as well. And the last page is bugs.
Oh yeah.
And final-
Departments.
Let's go.
Yeah, departments might just have different questions, like
Yeah,
different
so
departments.
we did take up about 5 pages of this, but it is also needed like art feedback as well and
Yeah.
bug reporting. So it is like a lot, but also kind of needed. I don't know, it is like a balancing thing. And I think this is just how we decided to do it in this one. And yeah, so I guess now we'll do like a brief like does the mouth that's if you can like play test mouse that's on your device, that would be great.
I like that one of the questions is, what do you think about Stick? Stick the dog.
Wait, where was that? Oh,
How do you think about him?
I think it wasn't the slug one, but I think in one of like the other play test forms, that was a required question.
Yeah, I think it was. And the person said he's perfect.
So yeah, we'll just be playing some analysis.
Yep, it's time to play nonsense. Everyone, if you need the link, if you're not on Zoom, it is on the Discord general in design server.
Oh, I just realized.
Oh, yo, the credits?
I just turned on. It's I don't know why.
Awesome, yeah. All the credits.
We're play testing the credits, guys.
This is in the credits. Wow, look at all those names.
There was a lot of people that worked on this.
Yeah.
One day GTA is gonna have like 1,000 people, and we're gonna be like an actual AAA game studio.
My design producers. It's crazy.
What a great week. Really need to come out. That would be fun. Like that system is there. I That's a tangent.
I was blown away by Ronan's art at the very beginning of it. It's crazy. Was that Ronan or was that Maddie? The beginning, like title screen. Was that Ronan's
I
art?
think that's magic.
Okay, I was thinking about it. It's Ronan art movie.
I don't fully remember.
I just remember like the clips.
All I remember is reading all of it.
Look at that.
Right there you go. There wasn't any questions on the village. Was that not in East Lockhart? It wasn't East Lockhart, right?
Yeah.
I guess we didn't have any dialogue questions. That's
No, we didn't. It wasn't like full.
interesting. I'm just, I'm just giving this quick break. Where did that? We're not.
Skipping the writer's work? That's
Well,
crazy.
we're design. We're here for design.
Validating the department.
Not for this workshop.
Damn.
Workshop is playtesting.
Damn.
We're here to play.
We cared about them during design dog shop. We don't care about them anymore. They're old news.
They were fine with us, even in the design document.
Dynamite. Let's go.
So we here. I'll highlight some writing stuff. Like
Wow.
Let's go, lore.
lore,
Lord.
nice lore. And guess what? You can find that lore in your journal still. Look at that.
Wow. Look at that. A journal where you keep things. Let's go.
Nice key.
You can run.
Right.
Run slower when you run. With
That's
E.
more lore.
We love lore.
Lore.
For a lore
Lore's great.
appreciator.
It's accidentally used an item. Ignore that.
Oh. What'd that do?
It shook the earth.
Shook the earth to its core.
Well, we're also ignoring sound because I couldn't get sound to work. So, like, look at this little guy.
It's a little guy. Let him hug you. It's a little guy.
Well, then I have to go back to the village.
He just wants a hug.
If I do this, does he? Yeah, he does stuff. Okay. That works great.
I like how there's an effect right when you like look at writing. Like you're still getting chased.
Mhm. Then get back. Then there's some on the brain again. I guess this is like what it looks like to actually test the game, like in the final stages, where it's like you build it and then you test it because you can't skip to the dungeon, so you have to like just skip past writing.
Yep.
And look, it's gone.
It's gone.
The note I picked up is gone.
Object permanence.
Subject permanence. But it's still there, hopefully. Yeah, it's still there.
Yo. Gem did
And
something?
light lit up. Weird thing in the wall lit up. Just pick another guy.
Okay, the speedrunner strats. Oh my god.
So this is the West puzzle.
Gotta you take the note. Yeah.
This is the West puzzle. As you can see, Sound Beast can't see you, so you can stand next to him. Does nothing.
So long as he doesn't hear you.
So how does the player know it's a sound beast?
He might not hear you,
Yeah.
but he can still
He
kill
just-
you
he
if you
just
run
walks
into him.
you, like if you're just in his path.
Yeah, ears are useful. Very true.
But like design wise, how does the player know if like that monster is based on sound?
That's a good point.
Like, did they have to do multiple playthroughs just to realize that?
That's the thing.
So yeah, I guess there is different things. One thing we try to have like a tutorial note where is it?
We also tried making it obvious with their design, like with their aesthetic choices, I think. But it's kind of
Here it is. This first note on the left here. This is the one that you would find in that West puzzle that I kind of like just picked up and then put down. But if like a player, I guess a player could just do that as well. But if they were to read this note, well, they would probably connect what this note is saying to
Got it.
the beasts in that room. And there's one of these on the other side. and the East Room as well. Considering that there, or that in the East, so like we have the West Room, the only sound beast, and the East Room, the only sight beast.
Hmm.
So I don't know why I did that, but I'm probably just gonna die. Uh, and then there's like one sound beast on the other side that you saw me like die to, and then there's one sight beast. So kind of like there's like a slight tutorial.
He has a cone of vision.
Yeah, there's like a slight tutorial when you're like visiting to each of the sides, and then each of the sides is kind of like a full tutorial. Like if you read this note, it describes type beast, I think. Yeah, pretty sure it describes kind of like site beast, and then there's two site beasts here, only two site beasts.
Basically, you should be reading the notes.
Yeah, it's like this is a game you can't really, not really, it's not super tutorialized because it's all like baked into the lore. Oh, this one's the,
Eye
oh,
creature.
did I mess that up? You know that?
That's in the
This
room,
is
huh?
the side beast one that you discover after you've already passed them.
Huh. And the player's like, oh, that would have been useful to know. I'm like, oh my gosh, why is it always tweeting like run?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna run.
Yep.
The Jukes? Oh my god.
Break their ankles. Holy.
Oh my.
They're
Oh my
breaking
God,
down
they're still
all
coming for
the billion. That's, that's like, why is he still?
He's still beating, huh? Oh,
Bro.
bro is bro's having a spot. You just gaslit him into thinking he didn't see you.
And he stopped moving, so I couldn't like avoid the other one.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you thought you saw me.
Like, oh,
Awesome.
He's actually turning back.
I love the emergent behavior because that like, oh, that wasn't there before. Like, that's not an intentional thing. You know what? The, they're a little angry.
You need to get the key. Come on.
No, they're a little angry. I'll come back.
Okay.
Sound used here. Like, we'll just bait them and leave. I can't remember. Is it up? It is up. So then there's the well, not yet. Okay. Then here's the north puzzle. So there's a there's a sound beast there, and then you can see the site code of the site beast, multiple site beast. So this one like combines the knowledge you get from the two rooms, or I guess you only have done one probably by this point because of structure is laid out. Oh, and this is kind of like combines them as a challenge. Why isn't it moving?
He's just staring at the wall. Let him be.
Just a little guy.
We're gonna do like the sound, and there's a side beast here. So like, when you're going up from the sound beast, you would encounter this side beast, just like how when you're going up from the side beast, you like encounter the sound beast.
Mhm.
So you're like, I guess, semi ready for the top floor. Where, come on. What's it? Oh, and then here's a little abandoned village. There's some goats together. Wait, let's actually finish the floor.
Bro hates the notes.
Well, fine. Here, let's put them one.
Yippee.
More.
More lower.
50,000 red fella, god damn. Well, I thought he was gonna walk towards you. I was so ready for you to die there.
You there.
Oh, well,
Well, that,
that is
that'll,
Maleficent.
that'll be.
That is Maleficent. You're supposed to redo that all over again.
There's no like the gems aren't saved.
I'm not gonna lie, Maleficent is a hard game.
It is.
Like, most people haven't gotten to the second floor.
It's only because I know every single like.
Yeah, you know where
Which
you put
roll-
because you put them there.
I didn't. Well, I didn't put. We put them there.
You tiled shit though.
I didn't. I didn't do
You did.
the first floor. I didn't. But
Yeah, that's why you know the first floor so well.
no, I
What's the
didn't
title
do the
now?
first floor. I did the second floor. Whatever. Moving on. So, playtest results. I guess go. I guess we did the form first. So, how did the forum focus on playtest goals? Like, you kind of already went over that a little bit. I guess anyone have anything to say about that?
Um, yes. What did you take notes on this, like on the playtest?
This is on the forum. Like, this is like talking about the forum.
This is
I think we have like general goals. So like each of these sections.
both of these questions are for both kind of. I think the second question is more for like the playtest of Maleficence right now. Like what did you take notes on? What did you know? I'm gonna phrase it differently. What did you know from the playtest to the Maleficence playtest?
I don't know anything interesting from the playtest we did of Maleficence.
Oh, but you're looking at me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
oh.
think we got
I wasn't really involved with Maleficence that much. All I did was like program one line, but then I got busy with classes, so
fair.
I understand. Yeah.
yeah. I have no comment.
No problem.
Understandable. I mean, like for example, with the monsters and everything, people kept on getting confused based on the aesthetic choices of the monsters, which one was which. The sight beast was very easy to identify.
Because it's cold.
Because of
Cone
the
of light.
eyes, cones of like line of sight, yeah, we get it. But like for the sound beast and what was the other one? Scent beast.
Which is
I'm not gonna lie to you. I know it's a dog, but I thought they were switched because the scent beast has a blindfold on his eyes.
because he can only smell you.
Yeah, but I thought it was like a scent. Like I thought it was like not a scent thing. I thought it was like a sound thing. Because the dogs are good at hearing and smelling.
I guess I feel like the thing I know dogs most for is smelling them. Like you got sniffing dogs and stuff.
I guess.
I don't know. Is that the first thing you think of when you think of like dogs? You think of hearing?
I don't know. When I think of dogs, like their unique trait, they're like able to like what you said, sniff things out and then like dig them out. Like I don't know, mostly like digging or
When I think of
Scouting
dogs,
things out.
I think of barking. That's what I think of.
noisy.
Yeah, noises.
Mostly like small dogs, like Chihuahua, where
Yeah,
it's like barks at anything.
exactly. It's a dog. Barks. That's what when I saw the aesthetic choices, I got confused on that when I first saw it. That's why I had to ask which one was this.
And
The
that's why
scent
we,
beast.
that's why we play test.
Yeah. I conducted more playtests than I did playtest the game myself, I would say.
You can make more Maleficence play testing?
I conducted some Malice playtesting during SlugCon. During most of them actually, what do you mean? I was always there.
Okay, well, any questions?
So where did stick originate from?
Uh,
It was the janitor's dog, and then we cut the janitor.
yeah. So originally, let's see, it's by
We should stop recording, by the way.
yeah. I guess that's a good place to stop.